YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the shortened preseason and how it affects our young guys, more importantly Dwayne Haskins. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case our Washington Redskins. And let's get straight into today's video. Hey you, you, the one that's about to watch this video. You didn't hear about it? I just launched my new Instagram, Juan Gotti Sports Network. Go ahead, go over there and give me a follow. It's free, and we cover anything DC sports related or anything sports related from all major sports, whether that's MLB, NHL, NBA, or NFL. I promise you won't regret it. We cover everything, whether you're a Knicks fan and you're a Giants fan, whether you're a Redskins fan. Although we are DC sports here as fans, we do cover every other sports league and every other sports team. So go ahead and give me a follow. I promise you won't regret it. Link in the description. So yesterday, the NFL dropped somewhat of a bombshell, but not really, because we expected it to come. But now that it did, it's just like, in my opinion, I'm happy about it. But more importantly, let's get down to business. So obviously, when they canceled the Hall of Fame game that was going to be, believe taking place between the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers, once they canceled the Hall of Fame game, we expected them to cancel some preseason games, maybe even all, but I doubted they would have done that. So then this comes to no surprise to some of you, or it shouldn't at all, perhaps. So what had happened was yesterday is that the NFL decided to take out the first and the fourth preseason game, leaving only the second and the third. So with that being said, does that affect our young guys and or Dwayne Haskins? In my opinion, I think it does. I think it affects the young guys more than it does Dwayne Haskins, but I just think it affects the young guys even more, only because that's just going to mean that they're going to have to try 100 times harder in training camp, even more than they already had to do. So with that being said, they would have to, they go 110% in training camp. They probably gonna have to go 200% in training camp now, since there's gonna be a shortened preseason. And then they take out the preseason games that the backups and the people fighting for positions play the most. So week one, your starters probably play, I would say, maybe a drive or a quarter, and then they turn it over to the backups and or people trying to make the team. Now they take out the first and the fourth preseason game, which the backups play the most in, and they only are having the second and the third preseason game. So and those games are where your starters play the most, probably play the half, or maybe even some teams play the quarter. So that's just going to take away from the young guys. The young guys such as like Bryce Love trying to make the roster. Even though people like Bryce Love, we're expecting him to make the roster, you still got people like J.D. McKissick, who aren't young, but who are people that are fighting for spots. Because like Ron Rivera said, no one's spot is secured. So for this sake, yes, we do have a lot of young guys like AGG trying to make the roster, but our young guys for the Washington Redskins, it's like we're expecting them to make the roster. So the people that are really going to be fighting for spots are probably like guys like Ryan B, if we do use him. People like, I would say Kevin Pierre-Louis, just because how deep the linebacking group is, it's going to be a lot of, fighting for a spot. That would just create more tension in training camp. Good tension, though. Not bad tension. Good tension in training camp, since there's going to be a shortened preseason, because even on top of Ron Rivera saying there's more competition, or as competition, not everyone's job is secure, people are still going to be fighting for jobs even more, even though since it's going to be a shortened preseason. So does this affect Dwayne Haskins? Let's address the elephant in the room. Let's just get down to business, because I mean, I know we already know that it's going to be affecting the backups, but strictly for the Washington Redskins, does this affect Dwayne Haskins? So I would say yes and no, but I'm kind of torn in the middle, because hear me out. Yeah, I would say yes, it affects Dwayne Haskins, only because Ron Rivera did say if it was a shortened to no training camp, then Kyle Allen would be the starter by default. Now, I don't know if he was saying that to apply for preseason too, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was, but I don't think it is. But at the same time, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if that same, shortened training camp applies to a shortened preseason, but I highly doubt that. So that kind of affects Dwayne Haskins in a way, because it's like he's gonna Kyle Allen wins the job by default if it's a shortened, training camp or preseason. Even though it's not gonna be a shortened training camp, I just don't know. And I wouldn't be surprised if the same shortened training camp phrase applied for the shortened preseason. But I highly doubt that. So, with that being said, I think it affects, Kyle Allen too, but we're just going to speak strictly on Dwayne Haskins, because maybe week 1 would have been Dwayne Haskins' whole first game, and then next game would be Kyle Allen. I mean, I guess they can still do that in a way where it's Kyle Allen or Dwayne Haskins the first half, then Kyle Allen second half. I guess they could do that for those 2 preseason games, but in the same way, they're taking away from the young guys, the undrafted free agent quarterback that we got, just all the other young guys. So I mean, it's affecting our young guys more than it is quarterback play. But I do think it's going to be affecting Dwayne Haskins in a way, only because I'm not gonna say he can't get into groove, but at the same time, that is true, and that's gonna be affecting every quarterback that goes out there. They're not gonna be able to get in groove because they're gonna be missing key preseason games. So, with that being said, why I believe that it doesn't affect Dwayne Haskins is because, I mean, he already showed the work ethic that he has this offseason, and he takes that into training camp. He could blow Kyle Allen out the water. I mean, first training camp session, they could already have their mind made up. Or, in fact, they could already have their mind made up right now, but they just doesn't want to come out and say it. But first training camp session, Dwayne Haskins can come out here and blow Kyle Allen out the water, and then just make it not a competition at all. So that's the reason why I'm saying it's not going to affect Dwayne Haskins, or it is. I think it's yes and no, because no is because, like I said, he could go out there and just blow Kyle Allen out the water, and I think that Ron Rivera and Scott Turner already have their mind made up right now that Dwayne Haskins is the starter. They just doesn't want to go out there and tell him. But at the same time, I could be wrong. I could be like, oh, it affects Kyle Allen more than Dwayne Haskins. It affects Dwayne Haskins more than Kyle Allen. I could be wrong, but I'm just giving my opinion on what I believe. I don't know if it affects Dwayne Haskins. I hope it doesn't. I hope that he still plays the same, and that's a good way. But at the same time, you just don't know how key reps like those are in preseason to some players. Some players are different. Players like Carson Wentz, they don't need preseason. They don't even play a snap in preseason. But guys like, maybe a Dwayne Haskins, I'm hoping not, but maybe a Dwayne Haskins, a Kyle Allen, they need key snaps in preseason to get back in that football frame. Which they're still going to get in a way, but I know some people would like that 4 preseason games. Me, on the other hand, I don't like the 4 preseason games. I'm a fan of just canceling the whole preseason and starting the season early. Please. I need football. So I think that we should really try to make that happen, honestly. Start football in August. Who says that we need to wait till September? Please start football in August. I need some football. And preseason, it doesn't do it for me because you take our guys out the game after first half. Or maybe even first quarter. Maybe even some teams' first drive. So we're stuck with, people that are not even going to make the roster. So, like I said, this affects a lot of the young guys because people aren't going to be making a roster a lot. All the no-name guys, no offense, but all the no-name guys that were fighting for a spot are going to struggle to make a roster. Guys like Isaiah Wright, people like that are just going to struggle to make the roster because they are not going to have that many chances in the preseason due to the shortened preseason. Now, like the last thing I wanted to say for Dwayne Haskins is the reason why I don't think it's going to affect him is just because, like I said, I think that he's been working hard all season to prepare himself for circumstances like this. It's going to be a weird league year, and I hope everyone is in store for it. I like I said, could be wrong, but I just think that it's a yes and no. For every team, matter of fact. Not just Dwayne Haskins, but I'm speaking more for the Redskins because I'm a fan. But it affects the whole NFL. Like, let's just be honest. It's going to affect the whole NFL. So I hope everyone buckles in. Once again, they canceled 2 preseason games. Week 1 and Week 4. Let me know how you guys feel about that down below. As always, me boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe, hell to the Redskins, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington Redskins. Do you think it's going to affect Dwayne Haskins, or do you think he's going to be good to go Week 1? Let me know what you guys think down below. Peace.